Very good evening from London. We are trading in the green as we head towards the Wall Street closing bell for the US equity markets, particularly being driven by the pre-market earnings out of Boeing and Caterpillar, both companies beating on the headline EPS and the revenue numbers, and both companies also boosting their forecast, and that has been one of the main drivers in terms of upside moods. And we have seen some slight acceleration to the upside following the European cash equity close, and the consequent moves higher in the equity space have driven the US dollar down in the currency space, helping to lift euro dollar. We are trading with around point gains as we head towards the close, cable trading back above the 155 mark, but generally that has been a case of the US equity markets driving the riskier assets, and consequently we also see the energy markets trading in positive territory as we move through the NYMEX close also. In terms of other market drivers, we had the 5-year note auction, which was generally quite lacklustre, the yield tailing slightly compared to the when issue. However, there was a generally solid bid to cover compared to the previous. There was a move of around 1 tick to the downside in the 5-year note futures, and we have edged lower in the 10-year futures as we move to the latter part of the session. There was some risk-off trade observed following the housing data out of the US, the new home sales disappointing in terms of the data itself, but as has been the case over the last 6 months or so, any poor data out of the US has just increased the case for further easing by the Fed, and that will be closely watched at the FOMC rate decision next week, particularly given the John Hilsenrath article out in the Wall Street Journal overnight and this morning in the US, laying out the case for further measures which could be taken by the Fed in their toolbox. Otherwise, there was the smaller rating agency Egan-Jones downgrading Italy to triple C plus from B plus, and this did cause a slight move lower in terms of the risky asset classes, but it was paired given that this is one of the smaller rating agencies, Egan-Jones. Otherwise, after the market closed, we're looking out for Visa to report. Apart from their headline EPS and revenue data, keep an eye out for any comments regarding the ongoing Department of Justice investigation into Visa, purely because of Visa's dominant position in the credit market. At the moment, the Department of Justice have only asked for information for the company, but analysts will be scrutinising their earnings report for any possible hints towards the investigation and its possible ramifications. Otherwise, markets yesterday, or tomorrow rather, will be looking for the Facebook earnings, their first report following the flotation of the company. But that's enough for me. Hope you've had a good trading day, and we'll join you bright and early tomorrow morning. Thank you.